like, and we'll get into that today, you know. I was actually telling Kat that I want to do also like a question and answer, because I feel like sometimes I come here and I like repeat the same things over and over again. So I want to make sure that you guys get value out of it. And when you get off the call, you know, you basically ask me whatever it is that you want to ask, because trust me, whatever you're going through, I went through it. You know, in January of 2019, I actually lost 3,000 people from my downline. 3,000, literally. I lost my director rank, and then I hit it again, and then I lost it again. And it was like, wow, like rebuilding season. And we came back stronger than ever. And actually that April I hit ED, and then August I hit SED. So, and then the following May I hit MDC. So it's like, bad stuff is gonna happen, you know, it's just how you choose to look at it. So I'm super excited because you guys are absolutely crushing it. And let me tell you, before COVID, I've actually been to the UK twice already to meet up with teams out there. And, you know, the teams that I had tried to start just didn't really take off. So when I, you know, Kat and Claudia and Ashton are telling me that you guys are killing it the way you are, I'm like, oh my goodness, that is so amazing, because the potential you guys have in the UK, in Ireland, in Poland, like literally with everything that's coming, you know, with the rest of Europe is so big. So I am so hyped, because I think there's only like one SCD in the whole UK. I think it's only Catherine, right, as of now. And I think there might be one ED, which is Honorata. I don't think there's really any other, you know, EDs or SCDs. So what that means for you guys is that the potential is humongous, right? Like we're just getting started. And if we're just getting started here in the US, imagine there that there's only one of me there. There's no MDC people, people's an ugly word, no MDC queens, okay, or kings out there. So anybody on this call could literally be the first MDC, you know, out in the UK. So if that doesn't like get you super hype, man, it should, because the potential is so big. So if you guys don't know who I am, I'm like your great grandma with Monet. In May, it made 2 years that I joined this company, and I didn't join because I was like, you know, starving or I needed to put food on the table. I joined because I knew that direct sales worked, and I had been offered other companies before, but I really just wasn't into the ones they offered. You know, I wanted to make sure that if I associated my name with something, that it was a product that I would feel comfortable, you know, talking about. And I wanted to make sure it was the right time also, right? There is such thing as market saturation in direct sales, right? Companies that have been around 50, 100 years, a lot of people already know about them, right? But a company like Monet, when I joined, we were 3.5 years in. It was like, what? I had never even heard of Monet, right? So it checked the boxes, you know, the fact that we're vegan, that we're cruelty free. And those are things that I know you guys in the UK have amazing laws and regulations when it comes to, you know, products and stuff like that. But here in America, I don't know, you guys say America, not the US. I know that from all my friends over in the UK. But here in America, you know, we don't have those rules. The FDA here is like basically a joke, right? So the fact that we were selling a product or able to sell a product that went by your standards was a really big deal, right? So I was like, man, like this is it. I'm gonna join. And I already, like I was saying before, I didn't join because I was hungry or I needed to put food on my table. I had a pretty decent job. I used to work for a Fortune 500 company. I used to make over $150,000 a year, right? That's a pretty decent income for somebody who was, I was what, 28 when I joined, you know, so I had a home office. So I joined because I saw the business potential, and it was hard, guys. It still is hard, right? Like whoever tells you that you're going to come into this and you're just going to be like, oh yeah, you know, market partners are going to fall in my lap and people are going to sprint to this or sprint to that, and I'm not going to have any ups and downs. Like they lied to you. And let me be the first one to tell you, like, you're going to go through so many ups and downs, but that's because you're a business owner. You're a CEO. You own your own online beauty franchise. And that's really big. If you guys were to open a traditional business, like let's say a boutique, or let's say you were to open up a restaurant or anything that's considered traditional business, trust me when I tell you, you would be going through so many ups and downs as well in your business. Claudia, I don't know if she still has it, but Claudia had a sportswear line that she would sell. Once COVID hit, what happened? I don't even think you were able to even sell anymore, right, Claudia? Because you couldn't even import things into the US, right? So what do I say by that? That doesn't matter what type of industry you get into. When you decide to become an entrepreneur, when you decide to become a business owner, guess what happens? You're gonna have really, really good months. You're gonna have really, really shitty months and everything in between. But that's, we get to go through that, through the roller coaster of emotions, because we are able to determine our own success. We are able to determine how much money we make, right? And that is huge. Now, I make more than what I used to make in a year in a month, right? There's people that make twice, 3 times, 4 times what I used to make in a year in a month, right? That is insane. So I will definitely take the ups and downs. I will take the days when I'm feeling discouraged over having to clock in and out, have a boss, and just, be like just there, not being able to grow anymore. So mentality is going to be everything in this business. And take it from someone that before Monet, like, I never used to do self-development. I never used to listen to the podcast or read the books. I was like super bitter. I was such a bitch, honestly, right? I just was so negative all the time, And when I realized that my mentality had everything to do with, how I would look at the situations that I would go through, the ups and downs, right? How I would speak to my team. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you're somebody who lets the little things get you down, so will your team. You're going to attract people like that too. I've heard a lot in the last couple months, like, oh, well, some orders are taking forever to arrive. Or when I call customer service, it's like, oh my goodness, I have to wait like 45 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, we're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. Like, right? Like, and even through that, we've grown so much. So again, it's like when you have the right mentality, it's all about how you look at the situations. So when I'm sitting there, having to wait 45 minutes to talk to someone in customer service, instead of being like, oh, this sucks, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm so grateful that we're even selling enough product for me to even have to be on hold for 45 minutes, right? So mentality is going to be everything in this business. People are going to come, people are going to go, right? That's okay. It happens to all of us. Like I was saying, I lost 3,000 people from my downline in just 1 month, right? And I could have sat there and been like, oh, this is a sign from the universe. This means that I'm not going to be able to grow. No, fast forward a year and a half later, we're at 150,000 people within the Miami Roots organization, which everybody here is, a part of as well, right? So celebrating failures is going to be something else that's going to help you really overcome those times when you're doubting yourself. I always say that if you're not failing, you're not growing. Leadership is built through failures. That's something that if you've yet to fail, like if you're on this call and you have not failed yet in your business, I promise you it's coming. It's inevitable. But again, when you have the right mentality and you look at things, from a positive, perspective, you realize that there's growth in every failure. Again, leadership is built through failures. It's so easy to be a good leader when things are going great. When everybody's selling, when everybody is, joining, when you're doing all these events, when, oh my God, look at this and look at that. And like, this sale was too hot. That's great. Everybody can be a leader through that. But what happens to the months when we don't have inventory because we went through a worldwide pandemic? What happens to the months where people are, so affected by all the negativity that's going on in the world that they decide to, abandon their business, right? That is when true leadership is built, is through the tough times, is through the failure. So celebrate every failure, because every time that you're failing, if you tell yourself, this just means I'm growing, your mentality is going to switch right away. You're going to turn that frown upside down, as corny as that sounds, and be like, oh, this isn't so bad. I'm grateful that I'm going through this, because you know what? When one of my girls or one of my guys in my teams goes through this, I'll be able to tell them that I went through it too. So when I have people reach out to me and call me and they're like, Liz, I don't know what to do. I don't think this business is for me. I had one MMP and her MMP quit. And I'm like, babe, you're crying over 3 people. I had 3,000. Immediately, they're like, oh, okay, you're right. That's not so bad that I lost an MMP, right? So again, I'm grateful that I went through that, because I can sit here and tell you guys that I promise you, it doesn't matter how many people leave your team, as long as you're being consistent, as long as you're recruiting, as long as you're every day waking up with the right mindset and going out there and being enthusiastic and just ready to kill it, and, you know, open to teaching everybody, and just like being an open business, because open mouth is open business, right? Every single day, as long as you're opening your doors to your online beauty franchise. Well, I shouldn't even say beauty anymore, because we have wellness. You guys will get wellness soon. I know you don't have it yet, but you will, and it's amazing. You know, you're gonna continue growing. So I don't know if you guys have any questions, girls. Anything you want me to? What?
We do. So Claudia and I are just here girl crushing on you. We're like, she's so awesome. We love her.
I love you, girls. You guys are awesome. You're killing it.
We love you. We're so thankful for you, Liz. Like, seriously, you're such an inspiration to all of us, and you really make it seem like we can do this. So I know we have a question. What's your question?
So Liz, I wanted to ask you, because I know that you do these calls and you're so big on like the tough love, but you also lead by example. And now you have something to show for it. Like, you can get on this call and you could be like, I just hit 2 MDC, you know. But when you're just starting out, right, and you're trying to inspire your downline, and maybe you're not there yet, right? So you're trying to show them the vision, right? Because I know Kat and I, we have that long-term vision. We literally like visualize it, we feel it, it's coming. But how do you portray that, or how do you communicate that to the people that don't have that vision, right? But you see their potential. You're like, how are you sleeping on this opportunity?
I know. You know, the worst thing in life literally is wasted potential. You can see potential in someone and be like, oh my God, like, you are just so good. You're gonna kill it. Like, do this and you're gonna be successful, I promise you. And then they don't do it, and you're like, about to rip your hair out, right? But that's because, sadly, you cannot show people their potential. They need to see it themselves. And, you know, it sucks, because I have so many people that have joined my organization throughout the couple of years that I've been with the company. And, you know, I see so much potential in them, but they don't see it. Like, just so you guys know, I recruited a girl that I used to work with in college. She actually married, you know, a Englishman, and she moved to the UK. Speaking, like, she's Cuban, speaks Spanish, beautiful girl. The potential that I saw in her to not just grow a UK team, but a Latin UK team that spoke Spanish also, like, was so big. And every day I would be like, babe, you can do it. Babe, do it. Well, needless to say, she never did anything with the business, right? Needless to say, she never grew. And this was what, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago? She could have been another SCD, you know, over in the UK, and she never did it. So it is so sad sometimes, because you see it and other people don't. But all I can tell you is just like you said, lead by example, right? That's all you can do. And hopefully that inspires people to understand that if you did it, they can do it too. And I say it all the time, like, guys, when I started my business, I had 500 followers on Instagram, okay? I was not someone who took like pretty pictures. Like, my Instagram was literally pictures of my dogs and like memes. It was a weird Instagram. It was private. Like, I was not like social. Like, I still remember the first call that I had with Jacqueline Ortega, and she was like trying to be so nice. And she's like, listen, if there's like pictures that you might not be emotionally attached to on your page, you might want to remove them. And I'm like, that's like a really nice way of being like, delete everything you have and start new, right? So I had to learn everything. I had to step outside my comfort zone, and I had to, like, you know, really go through a lot. But I always knew that I wanted to lead by example. Like, I will never sit here and tell you guys, I'm actually wearing a Monet elite hat, because this is another example that it's like leading through example. To qualify to something like this trip that I just got back from in Bora Bora, it's like you have to constantly be promoting out your level ones, right? So it's not like I just made MDC and I'm sitting here not doing anything. It's like I'm still working, I'm still growing, you know, I'm still every day looking for new people. But yeah, to go back to your point, it's so sad, but you know, again, I had 500 followers when I started. Miami really didn't have a team when I started. So it was really hard for me to show people the vision. It was really hard for me to go up to like Claudia and be like, Claudia, you have to join me doing this, because you're going to be so successful, and you're going to get a Cadillac, and we're going to make hundreds and thousands of dollars, and we're going to become millionaires, and we're going to do this. And she was going to be like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, you're just selling shampoo. You started 2 weeks ago. Like, I've never even heard of this company. I've never even used these products. I saw some bad reviews online. Like, no, I'm good, right? So when people tell me, oh, I can't do it, I'm like, you can't do it. So how did I do it? Because when I started, like, a lot of people, actually barely anybody down in Miami knew what it was. So people sometimes are like, oh, you're lucky because you started something. I'm like, no, I'm not lucky. I had to work twice as hard as you did, because I had to convince people that this opportunity was, you know, a true opportunity, that the money was real, that you were going to get the car, that your hair wasn't going to fall out, that the products were really good, right? So it was hard, but all I can tell you is that every day I showed up with the same enthusiasm. So whether somebody was like, hey, go F yourself, don't talk to me again, you're super annoying, or they were like, I'm going to run with you, you're amazing, I had the same enthusiasm, right? Every day I would show up super excited about my business. And it's funny because I was actually talking to a friend the other day, and I was telling her that, you know, I'm like, man, I think when I started, I was more enthusiastic. I was like, always like, yay, chipper, let's go. Let's go. And not that I've gotten lazy by any means, because I still work my butt off. But when I started, I was so hungry. Like, I was so hungry. I would talk to literally everybody that was willing to listen. I don't know if you girls know who Daniela is, but Daniela is an SCD in my downline. And her and I were friends for many, many years before Monet. And I literally went up to her and I'm like, you know, I'm going to become a millionaire from this, and you have to join me. And she was like, you're crazy. She like laughed in my face, and she's like, you are a psychopath, okay? She joined the business and didn't even do anything for 6 months. And it wasn't until I picked up my caddy. She joined in August of 2018. I picked up my caddy in December of 2018. And I get chills because this is such a true story. Me leaving like the dealership where I picked up my car, she called me and she said, hey, I don't have money to buy my daughter Christmas presents. I want to meet with you. So the lunch that I had that day that I picked up my caddy was with Daniela. And I remember she had a napkin, okay? I hope she still has it because this is like epic. She had a napkin and she said, what do I need to do? I swear I have chills all over. She's about to hit MDC, guys, okay? So she had a napkin and we sat down in the napkin and she said, what do I need to do? And I mapped out MMV for her on that same napkin. So it wasn't until she saw me pick up my Cadillac that she believed in me. Another true story. I know you guys all know who Joe is, somebody else in my downline. Yesterday, I went and bought her 2 MDC gift. And as I was leaving, her grandma was just getting there. And her grandma stopped me, gave me a hug, and said, thank you. And she's like, I remember when you used to chase Joanna and be like, hey, do this, do this. And Joanna would be like, Grandma, this girl keeps calling me. And, you know, I have my business and I don't want to do this. And the grandma tells me, I would tell Joanna, tell her that you have a thriving business, that you don't need this BS. Joanna was making like 20 grand a year being a wedding planner. She was like $60,000 in debt, and her ex-husband was driving Uber, right? But she didn't want to admit that she wanted the help. She was all in her feelings, and she would tell me no and tell me no, right? But it was my consistency. It was me being like, you gotta do it. Like, you know, I'm so excited about this. This is like the best opportunity. Believe in it, right? That's what got her excited and to run with this opportunity. So, you know, all you can do, sadly, is just show up every day as the most enthusiastic version of yourself. And if you don't see the vision yet, I don't know what else I need to tell you. I mean, I live by myself in a 5,000 square foot home with my dogs. I drive a 2020 G-Wagon. I'm wearing I mean, like, I don't know what else if you guys like, you know, the material stuff. Mentally, I am like the most spiritual I have ever been, the most grateful I have ever been. I am able to spoil my sister who's right in front of me, my mom, you know, my dad, whoever I want, right? My friends, I can take my friends out on vacation. I can take them to dinner. Like, if you don't have the vision, look at me not as like me being this person that has things that you can't reach, because I promise you, you can. The life that you see me living now, I didn't live 2.5 years ago. I did it. But it's because again, every day I would look at this and say, I see my vision. What is my why? And if you guys don't have your why figured out, I highly urge you to do that ASAP, because on the days where it gets rough, if you don't have a strong enough why, you won't be successful, right? But I had my vision so clear, and I would, you know, I remember the first Monations that I went to, and I saw Julie Stevens had actually just hit the $5 million club. She was the first one. And I remember A couple people were inducted into the MDC. Kendall Weldon had just done the 2 MDC. By the way, she just did 5 MDC. And, you know, I just remember thinking like, man, what do they have that I don't? Like, I want to be on that stage. I want to be getting that jacket. I want to be getting excited, you know, or I want to be getting that recognition. And then I realized, man, I just got to do what they do. So I started studying. What do they post on social media? What do they talk about? Do they post when there's a sale? Do I see them doing events with their teams? Do I see them talking about mindset? Do they go live using the products on their hair, on their skin? Do they meet with their teams? Do they post of their Zooms and this and that, right? I said, if they did it, I can do it too. And I've heard so many times that this is a duplicatable process. I just gotta duplicate what they're doing and add my sauce to it, right? So again, don't look at me and the lifestyle that I live as something that you can't, that's not reachable. It is. It is. There are people joining this business and reaching amazing ranks. I mean, you guys, right? Like Rochelle hit what? Did she hit MM in what, like 3 months, right, Kat? Something like that? That's insane.
3 months MM, and so did Joanna. They both did MM in 3 months. Now Joanna's going for MMM in 4 months.
You're still gonna do that, I have no doubt. You know, and she joined 4 months ago. Joanna's a beautiful girl. I see her right here, but she has nothing that you guys lack. I have nothing that you guys lack. Kat and Claudia have, you know, they have nothing that you guys lack. They just see a vision, you know? And it's crazy because I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Steve Jobs movie, but if you haven't, watch it. If you haven't seen the movie, I forget the name, but the McDonald's movie of the guy who basically stole the McDonald's, you know, recipe from the original owners, like watch it. None of these people like knew what they were doing. They just had a vision. They just had a vision. It all starts with the vision. So you got to start with it. You got to trust it. You got to believe it down to your core, right? People make fun of the dreamers. People say, you know, people say that they're crazy, that they're this, that they're that, until it works. And then they want to ask you how you did it. There's a meme that says they make fun of your little business until your little business starts generating more than they do a year. And then they don't make fun of it anymore, right? We all started exactly where you guys are. If you guys just started, if you're MMP, if you're feeling discouraged, like I feel discouraged too. There's days like today I woke up and I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym, and I canceled the gym, right? Like there's days I'm not always happy-go-lucky, chipper, like, yay, let's go. No, like I go through ups and downs too. We all do. But because I see the vision, you know, I'm always going to keep going because I do the work to have a strong mindset. I'm always going to keep going. You know what I mean? So to go back to your question, it's hard to make people see the vision. They have to see it themselves. But what you can do is just be enthusiastic about it. You know, talk about, like, sometimes people are like, oh, I'm scared to say that I'm going to be a millionaire from this. Don't be scared. You are going to be a millionaire from this. You will make millions and millions and millions of pounds if you really, really put your heart and soul into it. I make millions of dollars, so why can't you do the same? Again, there's nothing that I have that you lack, right? But again, it's just choosing. It's choosing to look at things in a positive way. And, you know, when those negative thoughts come to mind, be like, no, it doesn't matter. Whatever failure I'm going through, I have to be grateful for it because it's a lesson I'm learning. And I'm going to learn from this. And ask yourself, like, review the game film. By the way, I hate sports. I'm not like a sports fanatic at all. But my old boss would always give this analogy of like football players. Doesn't matter if they're NFL, if they're high school, if they're middle school, if they're like, you know, college football players. When they finish a game, they review their game film, whether they won or they lost. What did they do right? What did they do wrong? Every time you go through a really, really good month, ask yourself, what did I do right? You just gotta duplicate it and teach other people to do the same. If you go through a really bad month, ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What didn't I do? What did I stop doing that in my really good month worked so well? Document it, right? Plan your weeks, plan your days. I'm somebody that I'm all over the place. I was just with my sister, you know, because she works with me, she's my assistant, and we were working right now on 4 different projects, literally. And right before I had to go upstairs to get a hat because my hair is so dirty and get my laptop, which was upstairs, I was literally working on 3 or 4 different projects with her, right? So I am somebody that if I don't have organization, I get lost. I can have so many things to do, but I'm like, I want to take a nap. Right? Like we're all like that. I know I am. Like when I'm so busy and I have so much to do, if I don't have a list of things to cross off, like I will take a nap, right? I'll be like, okay, I'm overwhelmed, phone down, I'm done, right? So like if you're like me, if you're like can't multitask and you're like all over the place, right? And in your organization, organize yourself. Plan your week. Today's Monday, almost Tuesday for you guys, but today's Monday, right? So sit down and ask yourself, like, what's my priority this week? We have 5 days left until the month is done. What are you missing to hit your goal? Are you missing MPs? Are you missing VIPs? You know, well, how many trainings can you squeeze in, right? Have you done one-on-ones with your team? Have you pumped up your teams? Have you listened to the podcast? Have you read the book that was recommended to you? Organize yourself. You know, business owners are very, very organized, right? Even if they are like me, that they can't multitask, they find a way to be organized. Get yourself, like in your calendar on your phone, get yourself a planner. There's so many cute planners out there. Like I saw Claudia just bought the not the passion planner, what's it called? The law of attraction planner. I love it. That one's good. It keeps you accountable even with like how much water you drink in a day, right? Guys, like in order to level up and become the best version of yourself, you have to step outside your comfort zone and you have to do things that you were never, like you would think were silly before, right? And you know what, manifesting stuff and, and sitting there meditating and, doing affirmations and doing all of that. If that's what you need to become inspired every day, do it and document it and plan your week and help your team plan their week. I am so not the same person I was when I joined this business. None of us are. You won't be by the time you make it to MM or, AED or SED. You're going to change so much, and it's going to be through those failures, and it's going to be through learning. But the only way to like really document that is to be like, okay, well, I did this wrong. I should probably do better. This worked before and it didn't work again because I switched things up, right? Okay, so we're going to be millionaires. Yes, don't just say it, do something about it. What is your method of operation for a successful team? Duplication, 100% duplication. That's it. Guys, people ask me like, oh, well, what does it take to be successful when you're starting out? It's the same thing that it takes to be successful when you're SCD. I still need to close market partners. I still need to close VIPs. I still need to do team calls. I still need to do everything, right? So find yourself a duplicatable process. Ray Higdon is someone who, is very big in the MLM world. And he says that 87% of the people that you bring into your team are in it to make from $0 to $200, let's just say pounds, in you guys' currency. 10% are in it to make from 200 to 5,000, and only 3% are in it to go above that, to be that 1%, right? So when I hear that, what do I hear? 87% of the people that I'm bringing in my team really aren't going to be runners. They're not really going to get it and just sprint with it, right? 10% are going to sort of get it, and only 3% are going to be like, I got this, I don't even have to talk to you. So, if I'm like a very big numbers person. So if I recruit 100 people into my team, I already know that from every 100 people that I recruit, I'm going to get 3 directors, right? 87, 10, and 3. So if I have to recruit 100 people to get 3 directors, how many people have you recruited so far? Ask yourself, right? 87, they're probably not going to do much. They're not going to do much. 10 are going to, do more. And then again, 3 are going to be your runners. So I know that the 3%, they're going to do it with all the resources, whether I don't give them resources, like they're going to do it. The other 10%, they might need some resources. I'm going to hold their hand. I'm going to be there. But that 87% are going to literally need me to coach them, walk them through the most basic things. You know what happens also, and I'm guilty of it too, when I first started, and I was thinking about this morning, I was like, man, I used to I'm like, nobody ever asks me anymore to explain the objection of our products are expensive. I literally was thinking that this morning as I was having my coffee. I'm like, is it because I just stopped answering? Or is it because people don't get that objection anymore? And then I'm like, well, silly, duh, of course I still get it. It's just you don't explain it anymore. And I was like, man, I remember when I first was starting to build my business, I would have to explain, well, our products are going to be a little pricier than others because, most products are made of water. And, that's why when you flip over the shampoo bottle, it all falls out. Ours is more concentrated, so a little goes a long way. And, because we're going to be addressing your specific issues, you won't have to wash as often. I used to say that so many times in a day. I don't even know the last time I said that. So I'm like, man, did I stop answering that very basic question to help people overcome that objection. Is it me? Because sometimes as we grow in ranks, we start forgetting, you know, that like we really do need to become like human, like CDs, like repeating the same thing over, recordings over and over and over again, right? So, you know, again, the duplicatable process should include objection handling. You should be talking to minimum 10 people every single day. That you should be closing. I love to do, I believe strongly that MMP is obviously the basic, you know, the most important rank. Because MMPs build MMBs, MMBs build MMs, MMs build directors, directors build MDCs. By the way, my dog is snoring if you hear him in the background. Sorry, he's like napping. He's so loud, Jesus. But so I'm a very big believer that MMP is something that we should all attain every single month, regardless of what rank we are. So 1200, you know, GV, minimum 2 MPs, 300 PV, right? So how do you break that down? And you don't have to use this method, by the way. This is just something that I tell my newer people. But you can, you know, take some ideas, use it, whatever it is you want, right? So I tell them, okay, if you need 1200 points and there's 4 weeks in the month, again, I'm a numbers person, you're gonna break that down to 300 points per month, per week, I'm sorry, right? There's 4 weeks in a month. So how do you get 300 points? You sign up 1 MP, 200 points, and 1 VIP, 100 points. So out of 10 people that you're gonna talk to every day, that's 70 a week, okay? For those 87% of people that, you know, get overwhelmed with seeing, oh, I need to recruit 2 people. Oh my God, wait, I need to sell $300. What, $1,200, that's too much. Like, I'm overwhelmed, I don't get it because I'm part of that 87%. No, babe, no, super easy. This week, you're gonna talk to 10 people, 10 people, 10 people, so on 70, 10 every single day. And we're gonna get you 1 person to buy from you, and we're gonna get you 1 person to join your team. If you're talking to 70 people, if you're really doing the work that it takes, and talking to 70 people, you will be able to close 1 and 1. You will, right? If, you know, somebody tells you, no, I'm not interested, that's great. And in the business, I always lead with the business, by the way. There's people that do it differently, I get it, but I always lead with the business. And if they tell me, no, I'm not interested, okay, great, do you want to try them as a client? I find that, you know, so many people tell me that once they become a client and they love the products, they're like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. No, I'm still not interested. Okay, well, do you know somebody who might be interested in either buying this or joining something like this? Yes, I do. Here's a referral, right? So always get something out of one of those conversations. Yes, no, or a referral, okay? So when you have that 87% who, again, are going to be overwhelmed with everything, and you tell them this week you're going to talk to 10 people a day. Did you talk to your 10 people? Like literally organization. If you're not a multitasker, go back, talk to person 1, person 2, little check mark, right? Okay, so if you talk to the 10, who's gonna be your client this week? Who's gonna be your market partner this week? And then week 2, do the same thing. Week 3, the same thing. If they didn't close one, you know, in 1 week, close it in the next one. Now, if you think about it, okay? So are we gonna get to the 1200? Yes, we are, right? And if they do 1 and 1 every single month, or every single week, I'm sorry, they're gonna end the month with what? 4 VIPs and 4 MPs. Guess what? Next month, what do you need to do? They need to teach those 4 people that they brought onto the business to do the same thing. So if those 4 people do the exact same duplicatable process, it's gonna be 1200, 1200, 1200, 1200, that's 4,800 points, plus your 500, boom, you have your 4 active lines, your MMB, right? And then what's gonna happen? Those people, you're gonna recruit 4 more this month because you're gonna do the basics 1 and 1, right? So what's gonna happen, you know, that second month, it's gonna keep building and building and building and building. So do you see the importance of having a duplicatable system? It's so, bless you, I just saw you sneeze. You know, it's so important because again, 87% of the people aren't gonna get it. So you need to break it down for them. It's so important to print out, you know, the rank maps in the back office. People don't utilize those enough. Those are so good, right? You're able to write down your potentials. You know, who's gonna be Kat, who's gonna be your first MMB for MM, that's gonna be this person, great. You know, Georgina, who's gonna be your second MMB? Oh, this other person, great, right? Organization is going to be key, and having a duplicatable system is going to be key. Okay, what is your method on when you approach people via social media? What's your go-to template that you implement and find that successful? Okay, so when people ask me like, what do I do to close market partners? They're always disappointed with my answer because they're expecting for me to be like, oh, you just say this and boom, everyone's gonna join. It doesn't exist. It's a genuine conversation and a genuine connection, okay? I strongly, strongly believe that you need to build a connection with the people that you're going to talk to. And I get it. There's people that like can send someone a message and be like, hey, I would love to talk to you about this amazing company that I'm working with. You'd be great for it. Great. I want to talk to you, right? But 99% of the time, that's not going to work, right? So if you're recruiting people on social media in the cold market, it's cold and it can take a little bit longer, but you have to build a connection with someone, because number one, not everyone is going to join your team for the same reason. Not everyone's going to join you because they want the Range Rover, right? Not everyone's going to join you because they care about money. Not everyone's going to join you because they want to go on a trip, right? Everybody's going to join you for a completely different reason. And that is why that 4-color personality for MLM book is so good. It's going to divide people into 4 colors: blue, green, red, yellow. Okay. So, and it's like really exaggerated. So like when you, like the examples are exaggerated is what I mean. Like yellow people, they compare it to like Big Bird from Sesame Street, right? Like hugging, sweet, loving. Oh my God, they care about a community, right? So you're going to really figure out like what color your potential is if you actually, you know, have a conversation with them, right? I'm also very big on letting them talk and actually listening. A lot of people who are successful in sales, okay, me included, I didn't know how to listen. I was so like word vomiting and talking about everything that I had to offer that I wouldn't stop and actually listen to what they needed to hear. So if I'm doing a potentials call with Kat, hey Kat, thank you for like even talking to me. Like, I'm so excited to talk to you. This is so fun. Like, I am living my best life, girl. And I know that, you know, you can too. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Kat's gonna tell me about herself, right? And I just gotta listen. And then I'm gonna hear little cues as to, oh, let's just say Kat, you know, is a single mom. You know, I'm a single mom and I'm working 2 jobs and, you know, it's so hard for me, but I want to be able to do more. You know, this quarantine really set me back in my savings. Oh my God, I hear you. Listen, I'm not a mom. I'm a fur mom, so I can't relate to that. But I do love my baby so much, so I can't even imagine what like a real baby is like. But look, my friend Daniela, she started the same exact way. She was a realtor. She was a single mom. And she would tell me all the time that it was so like sad because she would literally have to bring her 4-year-old daughter to showings at like 9 o'clock at night on like a Friday, right? That poor little baby would have to sit in that car seat. What did that just do? Immediately clicked with Kat, because she's like, man, my daughter, my son has to, you know, be in daycare when I'm working, or I have to leave him with this, or I have to leave him with that, right? So what do I have now? I have her attention because I related to why this business is going to help her, because it helped Daniela, who was in the same situation, right? So again, it's about having a genuine convo. So you really need to listen. And you have to sometimes slow down to like, you know, go fast. And what I mean by that is you have to like, you know, like I literally have gotten, okay. And if you go to my Instagram bio, it literally says SCD, emerging founder, $1 Million Club. And I had a girl the other day send me a message telling me that she wanted to recruit me for Monet. I swear to God, I don't even know if I was with my sister, but I took a screenshot and I was like, are you kidding me? I had 2 options. I could either be like, babe, you do know that right now I'm number 5, but I am the number 5 income earner in the whole company, right? You're trying to recruit me? Like, really? Yes. This is why you're probably not recruiting, because you're not taking the time. But I chose to be kind. And I said, my love, listen, okay? And I went on like a rant. I like sent her a voice note and like a paragraph, and I went on like a 10-minute rant. Why? Because it bothered me so much that whoever her mentor is wasn't taking the time to sit there and be like, listen, like, you have to connect with people. She was just going around sending people random DMs on Instagram. Okay? That's so bad. Don't be that person. Because if she would have just taken 2 seconds to look at my page, she would have seen me with my blazer. She would have probably seen my video. She would have read my bio. She would see pictures of me with Senor Luis and Stuart, right? So it's like, this person, you know, she's not going to recruit anybody because she's trying to she's just throwing stuff out there to see what sticks. She's not being genuine. She's not building a connection. Don't be that person, okay? You can tell a lot by what somebody posts on Instagram. So go look at their page. Are they somebody who's always traveling? Bring up the trips. Are they somebody who loves, you know, you see them always like connecting with nature? Maybe they're vegan. Talk about the products being vegan. Do you see them, you know, being a mommy? Do you see them like building a community? Like what can you bring the business tie back to? Like what can you tie the business back to? People only care about what's in it for them, and what's in it for them is going to be different for every single person. Okay.
I have two questions for you.
Sure.
The first question is, so we just recruited one of my really, really good friends, Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. Welcome.
So she was going to join other teams, and she decided to join mine and Claudia's, our team. And I wanted to know, like, what is your first tip to a first market partner? And then the second question that we have is from Joanna is, what if you lose girls after a month and months of investment in them? I know that happened to you. It's happened to me too. I've lost a lot of girls. I know you've lost girls. So those are a few questions. And thank you so much for this time.
Oh, of course. So first question, brand new market partner, I would tell you, be open-minded, okay? Understand that you're a leader, literally, even from the moment you just like click submit, you became a leader, and you need to be coachable, leave your ego and pride at the door, okay? And be willing to understand that, again, it's a roller coaster, there's ups and downs, right? So make sure that, I know Kat's gonna teach you a really good duplicatable system, right? So make sure to follow that, and just to be consistent, you know, have the right mindset and be consistent, literally. This industry is a compensation plan attached to self-development, literally, right? So be willing to step outside your comfort zone and be willing to be coachable, because that's gonna be huge. Like, I used to work in sales before, and I knew when I started, I had to make that choice to be like, I might be great at the sales that I do, but I'm not good at MLM because I've never done it. I've never done network marketing. So I need to learn from other people. And again, consistency is just key. Like, consistency builds empires. So every single day, once you build a duplicatable process, once you learn it, do it every day and teach people to do it every single day. And then the other question was, what if you lose girls after months of investment? Good. I don't want to have people in my team that don't have my same vision and mindset. I didn't lose them. They lost me. They lost a great thing. And I promise you, I've seen it happen many times. They usually come back. And then I'm like, well, now you're going to be put in the back burner. Now, when I have time, I'll hang out with you, or I'll talk to you, right? Don't waste your time trying to beg people to stay in this. Like, don't. Literally don't. The same time you're going to invest into convincing someone that this is a good like business and to stay, is literally the same time you're going to invest into recruiting a rock star that's going to match your energy. And somebody who's trying to leave and you're trying to get them to stay, they're an energy vampire. They're sucking all of your positivity and your positive energy. Let them go. Goodbye. Do not let the door hit you in the butt as you're walking out. Okay? Bye. Wish you the best. Nothing negative to say about you, but you're not going to come right into my parade, baby girl. I'm going to go find somebody who's going to want it just as much as I do. Okay? Literally. Okay?
And Liz, not last, but my last question for you is, when did you realize this was a legitimate, like, when did you realize you wanted to go all in into this business, where you were like, this is it for me? When did you realize that?
Day one.
That's why you're a millionaire.
Yeah, no, literally day one. Like, okay, so there were 2 times that I doubted my business. And the first time was the first month that I was so overwhelmed, guys. Like, I stopped going to the gym. I stopped hanging out with my friends. I stopped hanging out with my boyfriend. I stopped hanging out with my family. I stopped doing anything other than Monet. And I was so burnt out after a month. Like, I mean, I hit A and B my first month, AMM my second month, MM my third month. And I was so burnt out. But I was like, this ain't going to stop me. I'm going to keep going, you know? Because again, I had my why so clear. And I always tell people, I've said it, you know, on calls, that if you have your why clear and your why is strong enough to like, and it can't be like, oh, I want a new Chanel bag. Like, that can't be your why. Your why has to be like something that's so deep that like you want to cry when you hear it, right? Like when you even think about it. And for me, my why was my mom, right? So every time that I would sit there and be like, I'm too tired, you know, it would be like me looking at my mom and being like, you're not my priority. I don't care about you, right? And that stings when you like, let's just say your Y is your kid, right? Let's say Duke. Duke is my doggy. Let's say he was a real boy, okay? He was like Pinocchio, a real boy. And, you know, he was my Y. And I would look at Duke every day and be like, I'm too tired. I'm going to go to sleep because I'm exhausted. Even though I could probably train my new girl, but I need a nap. It's like I was looking at Duke and saying, you're not my priority, Duke. I don't care about you, right? So next time that you want to give up or that you want to tell yourself like, oh, I'm too tired for this or I'm too tired for that, right? Like, try that exercise. Try looking at your why or thinking about your why and try being like, you're not my priority. And I bet you it's going to light a fire under your butt, right? Like Cedra. I see Cedra has her daughter right next to her, right? I'm sure that that's her why. Not your daughter? Oh, that is your daughter? Yes. Okay. So I'm sure that's her why. So if she's ever tired, and I see another baby over there, if she's ever tired, all she has to do is look at them, hi, and be like, you're not my priority. And I bet you it's going to light a fire under her butt, right? Because nobody was to do that. So I knew, so I doubted my business, yes, but again, I had to keep going. And, you know, thank God that also like my regular job got super upset that I was doing my business. And they would just started making my life a living nightmare. I had the worst boss ever. Like, what I did was very complex, and my boss like was so new at what he was doing, and he was my boss. So try having a guy who's super sexist, super rude, thought he was like all that, didn't really know anything, and was trying to like tell you how to do your job. It was like a recipe for disaster. But for me, I chose to look at it as a recipe for motivation. So I would look at that and be like, I don't want to be part of this crap. I'm out of here. I don't care how many sleepless nights I have. Like, guys, it was like TMI, but like my ex, I guess now my boyfriend again, would walk into our house and the dogs would be like, they had pissed and pooped all over the living room because I couldn't walk them. Because I was locked up in my like home office for like 4 hours back to back. Dishes would pile up and like, you know, in the dishwasher. I wouldn't be able to go anywhere with anybody without being like this. Like, I was on my phone 24/7. Like, I had LASIK done and my LASIK has gone back. Like, I'm blind again. And I am 1,000,000% sure it's because for the last 2.5 years, I have not put my phone down. Okay. But it was worth it to me. Right. So I knew I had to go all in. And the second time that I doubted my business is when I lost my rank. The first time I lost it, and again, super crazy story, the way life works out. My boyfriend's grandmother, who was like his mom and raised him, passed away on January 15th of 2019. And we had a director's call that day, right? And I won't even get into what happened. It was just something stupid that happened that caused a lot of turmoil within, you know, the company. And I remember being in a corner on the phone, listening to the director's call and hearing like, we're not going to do commissions for 6 more weeks because there was fraud committed. I don't want to get into whatever it was, but like, I lost my rank and I'm sitting here hearing this, and over there, like 3 feet away from me, they're literally removing like the breathing tube from like her. She's passing away. So I could not be in a more awkward position because I have to be there for him, but then I have to turn around and tell my team that they're not going to get paid for 6 weeks because guess what? Something stupid happened and somebody did fraud, and now the company had $650,000 worth of products out in the market without being able to collect money on it. So that was really tough. So I lost my rank. I got it back, but then the company had extended the promotion into January. So like the same thing happened in January and I lost my rank again. And I was already working, like I was still working at my 9 to 5. And imagine I went and told everybody, like, I'm about to quit, I'm killing it, whatever. Boom, I lost it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it back. I lost it again. And I remember waking up like right before February 15th, and I had like the worst feeling in my throat. And I was like, okay, something's wrong. I woke up super early and I like ran to my office to my computer, and my career rank said MMM again. I had lost my director rank for the second time. And I started crying and I went into bed and I cried for like 15 minutes. And I was like, man, this is worth it. Like, I've given my all to this for almost a year. Like, when I'm talking about like, I am out of shape because I stopped going to the gym. I like fight with, everybody in my personal life because all I do is Monet. Like, I have been ridiculed. I've been laughed at. I've been made fun of. I've gone through so much, and I lost my rank and I got it again, and then I lose it again. I'm like, is this even worth it? Like, I do so well. Like, I have a 401k, I have a retirement plan, I have health insurance through my company. Like, do I need this? My boyfriend was like, yeah, if you did it You can do it again. And guys, I did it again. And I had my 15-minute pretty party. I cried and I doubted my business. And I was like, is this even worth it? I've given so much of myself to this. And it's so unfair how because of somebody else committing fraud, I am now, you know, paying the consequences, you know? And needless to say, in February, I re-ranked AED. In April, again, I hit ED. And in August, I hit SED. And then the following May, you know, like a little over a year later, I made MDC. So, and 5 months after that, I made 2 MDC, right? So it's like, you know, it's gonna happen. Bad shit's gonna happen. Bad things are gonna happen. But again, it's all how you look at it. It's all how you look at it. So we've all, like, I've been through hell and back to be where I'm at. And it's why I'm so passionate about what I do. You know, when somebody says like, oh, it comes easy for you because, or you're lucky because, no, it doesn't come easy. I'm not lucky. I've worked my ass off for it. And that's why I'm so freaking proud of everything that I've accomplished. And you should be so proud of anything you've accomplished, because even if you've only hit MMP, the first rank, and you just started this, let me tell you, take it from someone who used to meet with a lot of business owners. Most business owners in their first, second, third month don't sell $1,200 or 1,200 pounds worth of you know, anything. If anything, they go into the negatives. They lose money in the first couple months, right? So, you know, I don't know if you guys are on the elite calls page, but the call that I did Friday, it's like, you know, if you treat this like a little business, you're going to get little business results. You have to treat it like a big business, because when I started my first month, I only made A and B. I had sold 2,400. Right now we're sitting at $22 million for the month of October. Who was going to tell me that 2.5 years later, we would be selling $22 million in 26 days? I started exactly where you guys are at, you know? And I'm not lucky. I'm not like, it fell in my lap. No, I worked my butt off for it. I failed so many times, but I learned from those failures. And every day I wake up and I'm like, gotta do it all over again. But I'm so excited about doing it all over again, because there's somebody else that's gonna hear me talk today. There's somebody else that I'm gonna, like, you know, that's gonna watch one of my calls. It's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. That's gonna go kill it. That's gonna go kill it, right? Guys, we have 36 millionaires in 6 years. That's insane. We have 2 people, well, about to have the second person hit the 10 MDC. They're like 2 paychecks away. We're about to have the third person hit the 5 MDC, and it's our upline, Jacqueline Ortega, right? Like, that's insane. Insane. $1 billion company. You guys are in such a good position being over in the UK. Such a good position. Guys, there's only 1 SCD in the whole UK. Like, that's should be putting a fire under your butt. A fire under your butt. Literally. You should like not be able to sleep tonight because you're so excited about all the opportunities that you have, right? So I know we're like, I talk so much, I'm sorry. We're already like 5 minutes before the call's done, but you know, again, don't look at me and think like, oh, I can't reach that. I just started, my team quit on me. Oh my God, I got into a fight with my boyfriend. Oh my God, my best friend hates me. My family doesn't want to support me. Oh my God, I can't even do the things I like to do. I have to get on so many calls. These girls ask me the same questions over and over again. And I'm saying that because I went through all of that myself, right? That's what it takes to grow a multi-million-dollar business. Nobody said, and if there's kids around, cover their ears. Nobody said being a bad bitch was easy. It's fucking hard. But you know what? Somebody's got to fucking do it. So I'm going to wake up every day and be the baddest bitch I can be. And you guys can too, literally, okay? All right, I don't know if you guys have any other questions before we go.
You're amazing, Liz. Thank you. We're all over here, and Andrea, that's just starting.
So
she's
hyped,
like,
so
hi,
hyped.
she's so ready.
Thank you so much.
I'm
Guys,
so excited. I'm so excited.
Remember, Liz started here with 500 followers, working a full-time job. She lost 3,000 people. So the next time you guys think that your day is hard because you're losing one person, just remember there is a millionaire, $2 million club on our team that lost 3,000 people. So I don't want to hear it anymore, okay?
Yeah, and it's crazy because you guys have in London, you guys have the same opportunity that Liz has, right? Or that Liz had. A lot of girls, when I talk to them about Monet here in the States, they're like, oh, but those girls are only making money because they started when the company, blah, blah, blah. Well, you guys, in London, it just started. You have that same opportunity to blow it up, take the same culture that she has created here in Miami with Miami Roots, it's not like I remember the first call that I had with Liz, and when she was introduced to me by Astrid, she was like, this is not your mom's MLM, you know, this is cool, it's a privilege, it's, you know, you have this sense of gratitude to be part of this company, to be part of this industry, and to really have this amazing life-changing opportunity in your hand. Utilize it, right? Take advantage of it, because this is what's possible.
Amen. Amen. All right. Now, I always say it. I know it's probably too late for you guys to get on the calls we have at 9 p.m. our time, but you did nothing if you got on this call, heard me talk for 57 minutes, and then don't go implement it. We're not going to be there when you guys get off the call. We're not going to be there when you're just laying in bed by yourself with your Instagram open. We're not going to be there when you have that extra time to work your business and you decide to watch something, you know, a show instead. Now you have to go execute. You have to go implement everything we just said. Okay? Execution is one of the most important parts. Stepping outside your comfort zone is one of the most important parts. So make sure that now, as soon as you guys get off, okay, plan your day. You still, if you haven't done your 10 reach outs for the day, you still have time. What time is it there? Like, it's like what, 10 p.m. over there? What is it? 8 p.m. Oh, okay. Okay. You guys have, there's only 4 hours of a difference. Wow. Okay. You guys have
change.
You guys have so much time yet, still today, okay, to do your 10 reach outs, to plan your day for tomorrow, to plan your social media content, okay? Implement, execute, go do the things. Manifestation is great, but it's only great when you work for it. You can't manifest $1 million into your bank account. You can manifest it and work towards it, and the law of attraction will bring it to you, okay? But you can't manifest it and then wake up one day and it's there without working, okay? All right, as soon as COVID is done, I promise you guys, I love going over there. Love, love, love it, okay? So as soon as it's done, we're gonna go, I'm gonna stay in Mayfair, we're gonna go to Nobu, we're gonna go do all those fancy things that I love to do. We're gonna go to Sushi Samba, one of my favorite places there, okay? We're gonna have a blast, all right? So I'm excited to meet you guys. Joanna, I already know you're hitting MMM this month, right? It's done. It better be done.
Liz, I just want to say a big thank you on behalf of obviously everyone that's here, and in particular the UK team. We have literally killed it and are killing it. We've taken the people that were here, right? Already your one SED and your one ED are thinking, holy shit, what on earth has just happened? Like, in the space of 3-4 months, we have just literally gone like, girls, hold on to those crowns because we're here to take.
You know, I am all about collaboration over competition. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but since you said it, girl, I know. What did I tell Kat? I was like, that team, there's only been one team that has dominated the UK since it launched in May of, you guys launched in May of 2018, just so you know, the same month that I joined, the UK opened up. And yeah, I know it's been a monopoly over there, but it ain't a monopoly no more. You guys are taking over.
On fire, like, and what you said before, your tribe, your vibe, like, it's so true. The reason why we're all growing the way that we're growing is because we're all really similar, right? So if, like, whenever I speak to girls and they're like, you know, I'm not really getting the answers that I want, so I'm thinking, well, babe, is it you? Like, do you need to be changing up the way that you are, right? Because like, I'm always attracting people that are quite similar to me, right? So think about it, girls.
I love it, and your accent is adorable. I love your accent. All right, girls, have an amazing rest of your day. Implement, execute,